Welcome to episode 18 of FTB Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. And in this episode, I am going to get towards magic. I have had a commenter ask, when are we going to see the magic? Well, we're going to see the magic this episode, I think. But before I do that, there is one thing I want to do, or rather, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. One thing I want to do before I get to the magic sort of setup over there. And we're going to get into blood magic this episode, if possible. And that is to automate hardened glass to some degree anyway, at least to give it a start. And I'm going to demonstrate this because it is a good extension of our auto-crafting system. The auto-crafting system we've got so far only really does one thing. It only does crafting grid recipes. And down here, you'll see, just a quick correction by the way, if you follow my guide, these would all have been gold all the way down here. And that causes all kinds of problems. I did mention it earlier in the episodes, but if you forget about it like I did, you get issues. You need to make sure every junction is at least a basic pipe, the really cheap kind. You don't have to do anything special other than that. And that makes everything so much better and causes to get rid of a lot of bugs. I found that out really because I put this request logistics pipe in so I could actually request stuff from down here. And of course this thing behind it then becomes a junction of more than one path, and then everything went a bit weird. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Anyway, that works now. So along the ground, I'm going to keep this for the crafting grid stuff. This is how you set up crafting grids. We've gone through this. However, on the ceiling, or close to the ceiling, I'm going to do the other thing, which is to, for not crafting grids, for processing recipes, I'm going to put it right there. This is our induction smelter. So, as you can see, I've actually, in fact, let me just take that off for a second. You've got two inputs, and they're coming in from the bottom. We're going to run a cable this way, a pipe this way even, and put the stuff in. Now, if you were doing any other sort of thing with thermal expansion, you would then need an output. Well, where's the output? Yep, that's what I thought too. These are magic. There's no explaining it. It just pulls them back out again afterwards. I have actually done this, so I did a big experiment, and I expected to need a port on the side, and then I was going to go, well, we can use Ender.io and use the push-pull port section. No, you can use the bog standard, very, very standard thermal expansion. So if we put the crafting logistics pipe on the bottom and we right-click it with the crescent hammer, we now can't really click on the import, and if you press open, it's just going to open the interface it's connected to. If you know how applied logistics works, this is very much like using an ME interface. You can use the same kind of things as an ME interface. Down here, you would use an ME interface to connect to. Well, no, you wouldn't need it for that. Sorry. Yeah, for AE2 rather than AE1, you would just use the auto crafting system. So ignore those. But for these, you would use an ME interface. You'd import stuff in and pull it back out via usually ducts of some kind, item ducts, or Ender.io equivalent conduits. But in this case, all we do is we right click and we tell it what we actually want in and what we want out. Now, what we want out is hardened glass. Just whoops. We're actually going to specify 2 because that's what the recipe outputs. And the inputs, I've got lead, so I can put 1 lead. And the other thing I need is the obsidian dust. And I've got 9. I will in turn need to automate the obsidian dust, but that's something I am going to demonstrate this once, and I'm not going to show it too much on camera from there onwards because it takes up a lot of time to set these up, and I may as well do it off camera. So if we request 4 of those, recipe for hardened glass, by the way, in case you don't remember, is just that hardened glass. 4 pulverized obsidian or obsidian dust, and 1 lead. And it just popped out of the system, so we can just go up here, right click, and say we also need this. And that's pretty much it. So if I then drop this back in the system, and I can do it from here. Can I? No. Okay, if we've got enough in the system anyway, so if I just order some hardened glass. Oh, I've not connected it. Yeah, the system doesn't know about it until you connect things, Grey Duster. Do you remember that? There we go. Now it should be able to order Hardened. There we go. So if I order 2, which is going to be the output of the recipe, if I order 1, I'm still going to get 2, but yeah, into the system at least. I've ordered that. You see the glow effect. And here comes the lead, probably all the dust. No my luck. And here comes the lead. And there's crafting. Well, this is an upgraded machine at the moment, so it will take a short while, but not too long. And why didn't you work this time? I had this... Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so it does work, but you have to specify an output still. I just cleared all the outputs. So even though this isn't connected to anything, the fact it's on the side of this block just means it can magically pull out. Who knows? I don't question it. I get free hardened glass. Well, not free, but automated. So that's the hardened glass, and the reason why I want hardened glass is because I want to be able to make tanks. Not that kind of tank, it's another kind of tank that I'm going to look at. Maybe I can just use this kind of tank. I need the hardened glass anyway because it's useful for a whole bunch of other automation. It was useful to show that. I'll decide between the camera cuts which kind of tanks I actually want. I thought I needed hardened glass for it. Maybe not. If in any case I've got hardened glass now. Okay, so let's just dump this back in and let's head over and see if we can get magic up and running, shall we? Yeah, I'll leave that in there for now. Just dump some of this other stuff because we don't need it. I'm going to need a cauldron, I think, or a crucible, or whatever they're called. Cauldron, then. Which is some iron plates. So let's see if we have any iron plates. 5. I will order all of the 5. And a couple more iron to do the last 2. Shouldn't take a second. This is really the downside for the logistics pipes. It is just a little bit slow, well, quite a bit slower than AE2. But yeah, the cost for... Oh, not macerator. Nope. Don't want to get iron... I'm not even sure what that would do to it. Probably iron powder of some kind. Pulverized. Well, that's not really used all that much. Yeah, just one. And one more, please. Come on, just one more. Gotta speed up this machine soon. Right. And let's get that made. And we're gonna need some cobblestone, and I haven't set up a cobble gen. Annoying, but that's okay. Just request a couple of stacks. The reason why we need this is we need a furnace, and of course that needs compressed cobblestone. So let's just get some of this and just compress some up. It's going to need more than one stack. And we want a furnace. And while we're at it, let's put this down and then grab our wand. And we get a crucible, which is what we need. And now what? Now we've got to go. Oh, what the heck. Let's go out. Even if it's nighttime, we'll still go. Don't get too many mobs appearing now that I've lit up the entire area, but, you know, we're not at magnum torch levels. In fact, are we at magnum torch levels? Probably not. It's this pack. Bedrocky ingot. No, we're definitely not. That is made from Mox nuclear fuel. Of course it is. Yeah, we're not doing magnum torches this episode, guys. Sorry, we're just not. If you do have any suggestions, though, feel free to leave a comment. More than happy to hear them. Right, we wanted Thaumcraft. So in here we've got some living rock, an air shard, and 4 pieces of stone. We're going to get arcane stone blocks out of that. And then it's something like this. And we get an alchemical furnace. Of course, what we want out of this is a blood altar. And that requires an attuned stone, which I've got in my inventory. We made it earlier, if you remember. Some more double compressed. Oh, wow. Double compressed. Okay, I need to go and get some of that and some living rock slabs. got some living rock. Do I not? Ah, there's the crafting table. So let's get some of those slabs. I'm going to acquire 2 mana steel, and my my supply of cobblestone is rapidly coming down. Even though I want to get into magic, turns out I'm going to need to make a cobble gen for magic too. And there is 2 tracks in this pack. There's really the magic track and the tech pack, and they do meet in the middle. One of the first big milestones, and I've not really covered it exactly yet, but the first big milestone is a quarry, just like in regular Minecraft. However, just bear in mind that it's a lot harder to create. We have the Buildcraft quarry and the Ender quarry. They're both equivalent recipes. Same recipe pretty much, just emeralds instead of diamonds, so slightly harder to get the extra utilities version if you don't have any villagers nearby who's going to trade for it, or if you don't have a chunk that's like a extreme hills biome that spawns them. That's where you're going to get some issues in actually creating it. But otherwise, if we just look at this, obviously the emerald chipset we can do already. Electron tube we can already do. Okay, that's it. Yes, yeah, we can make progress on some of the others, but you know, for things like the mining laser, we can make all of this apart from this iron turning blank, which is made using a turning table. Yeah, we don't have that. An MFSU, we have an MFE already, and we can probably get towards making these. So the MFSU is hard to make but not impossible. Tesseract frame, unfortunately, needs more ender pearls, so I'm going to have to get replenishable ender pearls to do this, so that's a blocker. The laser drill precharger requires all kinds of stuff. The pink slime crystal requires a slaughterhouse. The raw plastic sheet, or the plastic sheets we've already got. Hardened glass, we've now automated that. Glowstone illuminator, yeah, that's just glowstone inside an illuminator frame, and that's hardened glass as well. Seeing a theme here? Thought so. Mining well, we've got gold, dense iron plates, computer. The computer requires logic processor, which is an AE2 thing, and the inscriber is the machine you need. Inscriber needs a resonant machine frame and an overclocker upgrade, just because you know the energy, which needs coolant cells, and the machine frame needs an Enderium gear, which needs molten Enderium. You get the idea. We're getting towards a lot of it, but I'm not going to combine them into one episode until we're most of the way there. So do bear in mind we are getting to that for the main tech side of things. For the magic side, well, we're not really started yet, so it's important we get started. So particularly for blood magic, which does take up a lot of time, and it's going to be off camera time. It's not going to be something I'm going to ask you to watch through for a lot of it, other than demonstrating the basics. And otherwise, we'll get going that way. And a lot of it is still intertwined with witchery and thorncraft. So a lot of the recipes that you'll see, and I'll show you one in a second, it's just cobblestone I need now. Let's just request 3 stacks of... Let's request a lot of it. And I'll show you one of the other recipes while that's arriving. Okay, so some of the things that you're going to need for blood magic are the blood runes. They require witchery waystones, which is flint through a Botania. Mana pool. We're also going to require some of these other runes, but we're going to get to those and how you create them. We're going to require weak blood orb. That's straightforward. That's a mana diamond. It requires Botania. You get the idea now, hopefully. Some of these other sigils, witchery stuff. That's not too bad. That's hang on. It's still not too bad. We're going to require a sacrificial orb. That requires blood onto a mana pearl. Again, Botania with an ender pearl. And you're getting the idea. We're going to continually need to work through at least all those 3 main magic mods, unlike our tech, where there's a lot of different stuff to work through. So yeah, we'll be hopping backwards and forwards just to get this out and running. So hopefully my my cobblestone should be ready, and we can see what we can do about compressing it. And given the amount of times I need compressed cobblestone, I may well think about automatically doing this in future. We shall see. Because it's fairly straightforward to actually automate this kind of thing. There we go. I got 6 double compressed and I actually needed 4, so that should be enough. Let's head over and carry it to Blood Altar. Now, initially, we're probably going to need 2. I'm not going to do both on camera because, hey, it takes too long. But the idea, at least the way I start with blood magic, is that you start with one altar that's specifically the draining altar, so the one you sacrifice at, and that takes your blood. And the other one is kind of the one meant for crafting. And then you use different runes around it to specialize each altar for different purposes. And to do that, you really want to pull the blood out and store it somewhere so that you can use it for crafting. So we're just going to start, shall we? What was the recipe for the blood altar again? Right. So that's just a regular recipe. Something like this, one either side, slab at the top, that in the middle, and what was the last thing? Oh, the tunestone. Where's my tunestone gone? When did I put it in the chest? I did. Okay. Don't want to have to make another one of those. And there we go. Blood altar. Yay, no achievement? Really? Oh. So, yeah, where am I going to put this? If I can get through the door. I'm probably going to put it in the greenhouse area for now. There will do. That'll maybe all nice and pretty, but it doesn't really do anything without the rest of the mod. And that's where we get towards the other items. So there's going to be bits and pieces. Sacrificial. There's... Yeah. The dagger of sacrifice is for killing other things, not you, or, you know, donating your life force by chopping into your own arms. None of that. This is for killing other things. This one is creative, presumably. Yeah, I can't do anything with that. There's usually both sacrificial orb and sacrificial knife. I think there's a config option you can turn on to make that into sacrificial knife, just so this is friendlier for all the miners around. And to do that, we need to get blood. And that's going to have to go through the casting table. There's no other recipe. So to do that, we're going to need a mana pearl. And we need some way of getting blood. Other than me jump. That's one way, I suppose. Would that work, I wonder? Let me just grab that. Yeah. The safer route is to do it by villagers or other animals. The golden lasso. Oh, of course, that also needs an ender pearl. And watch me have only one ender pearl left. 2. Okay, 2. 2 I can deal with. So, golden lasso is going to be useful. So, I have ender. 4 string, 4 golden nuggets. Gold. Oh, hang on. I've got 2 gold nuggets. The rest of the gold is going to be in the system, so I'm just going to grab one of those. And some string. 4 of those. And some blaze powder. I guess I'm only having one of those. Thankfully I only need the one. That's fine. That's fine. So, get some more nuggets. Go here, make a... Eye of Ender, surround that with string. Surround that with nuggets. And we get the golden lasso. What is this for? Well, if you don't know what it is, it's a fairly basic item that lets us capture passive animals. Let me just see if I can get an animal around here just by scouting. Do we have any sheep or anything at all alive? Oh, that looks like something. Hi, sheep. Right, let's see how much blood we get out of this. We're going to need to melt some metal first, actually. So, and then we're going to need to get some way of getting the blood out of the altar. But that should be easier than you might think. I don't have to actually put a filter in just yet, but... So let's See if we've got anything that can just melt. I want something... I could just melt that down, I suppose. I don't need it, so yeah, let's just melt it down. And, yeah. There we go. Hello, friend. Hi. This might be, an interesting experience. I'm going to need to get the blood out, though. I'm just wondering if I can put a bucket in and pour it? Maybe, maybe not. The no-nonsense ways to use a portable tank. So while that is cooking up, we can use the portable tank, which means we need a fluid duct. And this is why I wanted the hardened glass, not the tank. I wanted it for the ducts. 2 hardened glass, 1 regular glass, and copper plate gets temperate fluid duct. Okay, so we get some copper plates. And I know this is a magic episode, and I know we're going to have to get tech stuff. I'm sorry, they're not my recipes. I tried. I just get 1, and I want a couple of hardened glass, so I'm going to get 2 of you. Let's just put those in. And there we go. Okay, temperate flux duct, and I'm going to need, well, some way of controlling it, but... Oh, our sheep has escaped. Blood. Right. Huh. That's going to take 13 sheep. Yeah. I'm not going to do this on camera. There may be a better way to get blood. One of those ways may well be me. In fact, let's just, I may regret this. I may really, really regret this. But... Ow. Ow. Well, I am donating blood. Ow. Only 5 millibuckets at a time, though. Yeah. I'm gonna cut camera. So it struck me that witches are very good at healing themselves. So I thought, hey, why not? So she's in there and she's giving us all the blood we actually possibly need, rather than me standing in there. So I'm going to try and capture again. If that goes wrong, then it goes wrong. But hey ho. There we go. And she's got 15 health left. Fine, fair enough. That's enough for me. Wasn't he? Oh. This is where I end up back in the torture chamber again. Ow. There we go. Okay, so we need to get the blood out, and that shouldn't be too bad if I can get this right. Let me just move you for a second. And grab you. And then a flux duct. Okay, weird connection, but never mind. And do I need any kind of... Fine, give me back. Tell how long it's been since I used these. Okay, yeah, I'm going to need a servo. Servo. Do I not have any left? Just a regular one should do fine. Okay, iron. Fine. Let's just do this. Iron. Couple of. Add a couple of those as well. And redstone. And what was the final recipe? Glass. Just any kind of glass. That'll do. There we go. And glass, please. There we go. And also right there, please. And I am going to... Have we got this at the bottom? See if this works. There we go. We're filling that with blood. Why are you only doing 720? Oh. Oh. You can use seared glass as a tank? Right. Okay. So, give me that back. Where's my... Did not know I could do that. Hopefully this should be fine though. I can still drain it. And we get over a bucket of blood, which is fine, and blood's gone back in. I don't care. I don't care. As long as I've got a source of blood, that's fine. In fact, I'm going to need to keep it, but we just need to pour it over mana. Yeah, so I can just dump it back in for now. I want extra, you see, and I was just playing around with transporting it with these tanks, but you know, if that's not going to work, let's not worry about it. We can just dump the thing back in. Come to think of it, I just need to put disconnect you. Well, for that matter, I'm going to need to reconnect this. And then just remove that side. And then put the flux stick on the bottom. There we go. Alright, so yeah, we've got it in there. It's on the bottom. We can put the mana pearl in there. And is it on the casting table or is it on the casting basin? We want the sacrificial orb. The casting table. Fine. Oh, I've got that above it. Never mind. Hey presto. Sacrificial orb, please. Come on. Carrot juice. Yay! Sacrificial orb. Now, let's just go and make sure this works. In the nighttime, under a moon. Yeah, nothing's ever gone bad from this. There we go. So I can use up my blood to fill up the altar. And that's the whole basis of blood magic, either using other animals or using yourself to power the blood altar and through it to power other things. We can't get too far into it without me crafting more blood magic item of another altar, but what I'm going to probably do with this, and this is where I was going to look at the tanks, is we can just pull this out and put it into a tank, which let's just say it's for argument's sake, it's here. And then, you know, we can just have more of these going to a second altar over here. It's going to be a lot further away than that just because these altars are eventually going to reach quite high. It's a big multi-block once you actually get started. If you've not seen my previous series of blood magic before, it's one of the, I think it's like 27 by 27 base blocks, and then it's up about 6 or something like that. So it's a huge thing once you get it going. But when you start, you just need perhaps just a blood altar and maybe 1 or 2 layers below it. So we're going to replace like this block, these blocks around here, that kind of thing, with the first set of runes, and we're going to have a different set of runes around a similar altar on this side. I'll leave that till the next episode though, because you see me create these things now. They're relatively rough to get started by comparison to vanilla recipes, but we can use that to create things. And in fact, actually, can I fit one extra thing in? We've got a few minutes. The other thing we need is the divination sigil. That needs night ore, which is Thorncraft, and it needs me to get actually my first blood orb. Okay, so let's look at the blood orbs. Yeah, and this is the difficulty with starting. Okay, the problem with starting is you need 2,000 blood in that altar to get started, and you drop a mana diamond in this case. I did try to get blood from a horse, then remembered it only gave glue, so now I've got a horse. Don't question, that's just my brain sometimes. Where was I? Where was I? Oh yes, the first blood up. Right. So yes, diamond, please. Give me a diamond. The difficulty with this is trying to keep up with the demand, because your first blood altar, as it turns out, doesn't actually contain all that much to start with. It doesn't actually say, but it's not all that much. Okay, let's just look at the blood orb. It needs 2,000 life points. And the Divination sigil will let us find out how many life points are in here, if I remember rightly. But that kind of means I'm going to have to sit here, and because we don't have any runes around it, I would have to start doing this until this is full, or until it looks like it's full, drop the mana diamond in, and then hopefully out of the other side, once as soon as I drop the mana diamond in, it's going to start using up the blood, which means I'm going to have to keep on using my blood to try to convert this before I actually run out. So yeah, I will have to give this a try if I can do it at all without extra blood. What I could do, yeah, I think I am going to leave it till next episode, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a tank in place and then pump all of this blood out. Actually, yeah, what I could do, let's just do it this way. Grab you and you. And this should get us 8 buckets of blood. I haven't upgraded this tank yet. But we could use it as a buffer. So if I do something like this, and then put you on top, and then I want a servo there. And then we can pump this out like that. I might need a bigger tank, but what I can do is use this as a reserve. The problem in here, the way these works, is there's 3 tanks inside. There's an input tank, a main tank, and an output tank. And until you start modifying it, it can only pump blood really quite slowly. So what I'm going to do is fill up this, cut this off, put it on this side, wait till I start, throw the diamond in, turn this on, then start cutting and try and keep up. Well, start cutting. Try and donate life points and try and keep up. Let me just do that off camera, and then we'll see if I can do it before the end of the episode. If not, we'll do it next episode with another way of doing it. Alright, this looks fairly full now. I should be able to just right-click this to gravity feed it down. Shouldn't need a servo to do it. And this is the point where most people get to laugh at YouTubers who try to create their first blood orb, or the various blood orbs, and fail, because as soon as you run out of blood, all the progress gets reset. So you may as well start all over again. So if we do that, we're going to have to look into regeneration, which is the primary blocker, and come back to the next episode. Before I do this, however, just a brief explanation in case, I'm going to keep it fairly quickly because I hope most of you have seen blood magic before. But the blood in your altar is separate from the blood you have in your network. Your network is like this invisible kind of amount of life points you have around you. And if I use this blood orb away from the altar, it won't go into the altar, it'll go into my blood network. But I can't see what's in the blood network until I get a divination sigil, which is what I need to create. And to make that, I need a blood orb to actually create it. The blood orb does a lot of the recipes. This is kind of like the production machine, like our induction smelter over there. Hello, horse. Binky, I think I'll call it. So yeah, let's give this a try. And I'll come on to the other aspects of blood magic as we actually get to it. So in it goes, and I'm going to just... Whoops. Oh my. There we go. And then that red effect is showing that it's actually processing. And then I can just keep it full with my sacrificial orb. And I doubt there'll be any problems doing this first one because it's supposed to be easy. The later ones are much tougher. There is one particular tier that takes a lot of work to actually do. You need a lot of regeneration. So this should actually change back any second once it's used up enough blood. I'm just keeping it topped off as much as I can. And we should get our blood orb back. Come on. Not blood orb, sorry. Yes. There we go. Bleak blood orb. And if I right click, it basically is going to contribute to our network, which is how we contribute to the network rather than the sacrificial orb. I may have said something different. I didn't mean it. Okay, so stores raw life essence. The last thing is the divination sigil, which shall we do it this episode? That's going to require an arcane stone block and some night ore and some glass night ore. Okay, technically we could, if we're quick. Night ore we need glowstone for, which isn't all that hard. I'm just going to get a few of these. We also need torches, if I remember rightly. Torch. I don't think we have... is it coal? I can never remember which one of these it actually is to get enough for night ore. Let's just grab a few things. Where are my torches? Oh, I've already got some on me. That's fine. Right, I want my thermometer. Throw a torch. Let's see if this gives the usual torch elements. Yes, it's one fire and one of the crystal elements, and we need for it... Okay, so we need 3 torches, and we need the equivalent of 3 lux, and... What do we get out of glowstone? 2 lux, and... can't remember what the owl symbol is. So we definitely don't want that. What's the other thing? Is it coal? No, although we can use... Yeah, we can make 2 batches of night ore doing something like this. 3 coal, sorry. That makes 6 of each of those, and we just need the lux. What has lux on it? There is a recipe to do this really cleanly, and I can never remember what we use for lux. Obviously something with light, so torches does not have lux on it. Let me check. It is torches with lux on it. I thought I was going crazy. Yeah, except that they are the normal torch, not the carpenter's torch, which has an entirely different sort of set of things, which actually means we can get even more exact than normal with this. We can just get 3 of these and 3 of these, and that should be sorted. So let's just line those up, and then we just want 1 glowstone. That should get us night ore. Let's head over to our system. Well, head over to our Witch's Cauldron even. Not Witch's Cauldron. Crucible. Close enough. So, 3 of each of these. Yeah, and 1 piece of glowstone. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that should give us our night ore. And there should be no remainder, which is good. We don't want the remainder. So, what else do we need? Night ore. This needs an arcane stone block. And that was some lag. We also need 6 mana glass, so let's just get some glass while we're at it. I know we're running over. I'm trying to get this done as quickly as I can. Sorry guys if you're still watching. It should only be a few minutes over. Well, when I get a faster logistics system, it will be. And arcane stone blocks, please. Just 1. Yeah, blank slates. I need 1,000 for that. Hopefully there's enough left in my blood altar. There should be, to be honest. But we'll see. This is only... Yeah, I mean, it's full. You generally get enough out of that. Let's leave that going. The rest is going to be mana glass. I don't want to leave this too long in here, however. I don't like to go into like a 2nd and 3rd tier of the slates. Not yet, anyway. There we go. And the rest is mana glass, I think. Mana glass? Mana glass. Where's my glass? There it is. Now let's grab this crafting grid inside. 6 mana glass. One of these. One of these. And I think it's just my blood orb. Divination sigil. So if I right click this, current essence is 400 LP. If I think I can use this on the altar as well, if I remember rightly. Yeah, there we go. Tier 1, capacity is 10,000 and it currently has 10,000. So if I use this outside, you'll see my essence is 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, so 200 LP for one of the uses of these. So that's the basic set of tools for blood magic. We're going to come back to that because there's a lot of really good stuff in blood magic. So we're going to need the divination sigil. You're going to need the sacrificial orb. You're going to need the weak blood orb, and you're going to need your blood altars up there, and somewhere to store all this stuff. Just bear that in mind. That's the end of this episode. Hope you've liked it. We've got into magic this episode, although we've also done some tech just to automate the processing of things, which is a good important step as well. And I'll do a lot more of that off camera, just so that you're not seeing all of it on camera. I want to keep all the new stuff on camera for this series. If you like this video, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike, and let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions, corrections, or just in general requests. And subscribe if you're not, if you want to see more of these. Alternatively, if you don't want to subscribe on YouTube, you feel free to follow me on Twitter at Crayduster, and we'll see you on there as well. So thanks for watching. See you next episode.